we're at the Strikeman booth this year, and we are introducing 2 new products. So we have a range system over here, but we are introducing a revolutionary product here in the dry fire space. So what we have here is the world's first and only rechargeable bore sight and laser cartridge in one. So we have 3 different caliber options currently right now that will be shipping here in the next few months. So we've got 223, 9mm, and 380. And what we have is we designed this in-house, engineered in the United States, and we'll have manufacturing options here in the United States also. It has a small computer built inside, and it has a rechargeable battery that we designed to fit in these cartridges. So if you look down here, we have a blowout of the whole entire system. So we have the battery, the computer board, and all the pins that will charge the caliber to. And then what you have here is you have your charging dock. So kind of think like the old Fitbit style chargers, where you just snap it onto the dock and it'll sit there and charge for you. So let's say you want to do dry fire practice, you have your pulsating options right here. And then if you press and hold down for 5 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one more press and it switches over into bore sight mode. So let's say you need to sight in your new red dot or your optics, and you want to get it 99, 95% before maybe you do live fire training at the range. You can get it fully set up and practice at home before you go to the range and blow through a bunch of ammo.
That's cool.
Yep, we've had it sitting for 2 or 3 days now, full red dot, 30, 40 hours on one battery charge, no problem.
Wow.
Yep. So
how long does a recharge take?
Recharge takes just an hour.
Yeah.
Yep, so it'll have a USB-C cable. It'll come with a little charging brick, or you can just plug it straight into your computer.
Do you have a sense for MSRP, what these are going to sell for?
Yeah, so MSRP is going to range probably from that 140 to 160 range. The reason is imagine you already purchased one caliber and you have the charger, but you don't need to purchase another charger. Every caliber fits on the same exact charger. So you'll have the option to just purchase the caliber, a la carte. Yep, yeah. And then we'll have a bundle pack, all 3 calibers with one charger also.
Cool.
Yep.
That's awesome.
What we have over here is, over the past couple years, Strikeman has been focused on that dry fire at-home training space. We have an in-house software development team that is looking for that next revolutionary thing. So over the last year, a lot of different ranges have come up to us and said, hey, how can we take that dry fire experience that the customer has and entice them to maybe come in the range and gamify that live fire experience? So Range Systems is one of the people that was really on the forefront of that. They have a booth here upstairs where they're introducing some pretty cool new products that we are kind of in parallel working together. They're introducing a carrier system with a, I believe it's going to be a 4K camera that is in the carrier. You'd have to go upstairs and confirm with them. But what we're doing here is, imagine you go to the range and you don't have that data, right? You don't know how good you are shooting. If you're 20 or 30 yards away, you have to trust that your sights are, telling you accurate where you're shooting. So what we're going to have the option here is this whole entire system will be a retrofit for your range. And what you will do is you will log into the system when you get to the range. This is just the standard target that we're using at the show, but our system can calibrate with hundreds of different target options out there. The camera that's on the back of this TV right here is pointed down range, and what it does is it will track your live fire shooting. So for the show, we're obviously using a red dot, but imagine you're at the range, that same red dot will be in the exact spot where your bullet went through the paper.
I love that.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is still a dry fire imitation of a real product.
Yeah.
Because of the nature of the show environment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And we are working with some partners to build this whole entire system out to increase that revenue for these ranges. So we want to kind of have that top golf experience at the gun range. So imagine you're sitting there, Jacob, and you're like, man, I'd really like to try that, Glock 19 that I saw out front. Instead of having to go out front, this will have their whole entire operating system and their whole POS built into it. So you can simply go into the gun vault right here, select another gun, and the receptionist or the range officer can go out front and bring it into you. The customers from what we've talked to range owners, the customers traditionally don't ever leave the stall and go out to the front and pick another, rifle or handgun to use. They kind of just run through their session, they book their hour, and they leave. So imagine you're a range owner also, and Jacob, you're out front and you're like, hey, this guy seems to be having a really good time inside. I know that stall has more time left. You push a prompt from your front computer POS system and say, hey, one-time special, 50% off if you stay for 30 more minutes. It kind of creates that bar tab in here. The customer is more likely to be like, okay, well, like, I've got more rounds. I've got more rounds left. Let's keep having fun. Click.
Accept.
Go.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So also too, like with the ammunition, kind of have that conversation with the customer before they go in. Hey, what type of gun are you shooting today? And kind of track that information before the customer walks back into the stall. And let's say you're watching. There's cameras in most of these ranges now. Let's say you're watching and you notice that maybe, all right, he looks like he's about to run out of his 9mm. Push a little prompt on the screen, hey, bring you a box of 9mm for $22 or whatever your price is on it. Bring it into him and let him continue on with his day, where he feels like he's getting his full value and his full time at that range.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's really cool, guys. For those who can't see, I mean, there's a button for the gun vault, like you said, current firearm, magazine status.
Yep.
Check my tab, how much money have I spent?
Yep.
And we have some session statistics.
Yep.
How many yards have you fired? How far is the target away?
Yeah, your magazine status. So, unless you're like counting and like thinking about that, this will have on the screen, we don't have the audio set up just because of like how loud it is in here, but it'll tell you how many rounds you've ran through your magazines today. And then one other thing that is in the gun vault is tracking is everything. Your concealed carry that you have, how many rounds have you put through it? You have no idea. So tracking that data to know, okay, I need to clean I need to replace the spring, I need to clean my gun, I need to reheat, grease it.
It's just like, what miles on my truck do I need to replace the pump or the belt or whatever?
Yep, so we're trying to bring that whole entire experience from the at-home user, get them to the range, and we want to work with ranges that are looking for like that next thing, right? There's a lot of ranges that have been built 8, 10, 12 years ago that are looking, okay, I need to regrow my business and I need to rethink what's next. This doesn't require you to replace your stall, replace all your current hardware that you have. It's simply purchasing a computer screen, purchasing a computer, and installing it in your stall. And this is something that we'll do in parallel with you. We can come out and install it ourselves. And then this whole entire operating system, once it's hooked into the cloud system, if you ever have any issues, we can fully remote in, do any like software tweaks or any programming. So like, currently we're running the software in like a well-lit environment, but let's say you wanted to have like a night training session or something. We can like work with you, run remote sessions with you in advance to configure it to get it all operating and up for you.
That's cool.
Yeah, so increasing that revenue for gun range owners is our sole purpose here, but also bringing that like dry fire experience to the live fire.
I love it.
Yep.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for stopping by.